Okay, hello and welcome everybody, this is Dr. Destiny here, and today's video is going to be a little bit different from usual. I'm going to be covering what I thought from the Destiny update 2.40, and obviously talking about private matches as we finally got them. On the day of release of private matches, which was obviously Tuesday, the MLG event, I was watching that, so I was busy. I didn't manage to actually upload the weekly reset video, so I apologise for that. And then I was going to do a video saying how cool private matches was, and again I was playing private matches too much to even make a video. In the background, in the footage, we have got some primaries only gameplay with Xalo Supercell, and I'll be talking about that in a little while, while I was using it and how good it is currently at this time. Obviously, within the gameplay, I'm not going to be getting killed by shotgun snipers that you typically would, and obviously heavy weapons, so bear that in mind. I probably wouldn't have done that as well, but it shows you the full force of how good primaries can be and what type of weapons you should be looking at for, obviously, since the patch. And obviously next week things are going to completely change because Rise of Iron will be out and there'll be new weapons to play, and the meta will definitely shift from that. But for currently, for this week, and obviously these do carry over even into Rise of Iron, these are the changes that were done, and what type of weapons should be pretty good now, and what ones you should try to test out yourself. So first of all, obviously because I'm using Xalo Supercell, the auto rifles, which obviously mid to faster range, mid tier auto rifles, which will be Xalo, have had a increase. Stuff like Fabian's strategy, which I use on my Titan, does melt, but it is very unstable. When you hold down the trigger, the gun goes to the left, all the way to the right. So still not that good. It's better than it used to be, but it's still not amazing. But as you can see with the Xalo Supercell in the background, you literally just hold down the trigger. This is a very, very stable weapon, and obviously as long as you just hold it in a general direction of the enemy, you're going to kill them. It was beating Fabian's strategy, which is obviously a fast fire rate weapon, and it's beating stuff like Last Word, stuff like that. Again, this is private matches, so this is against 3 of my friends. One of them is pretty good, the other 2 average, so obviously if this is in normal matchmaking it would be a little bit different, and like I mentioned before, obviously specials would come into play and so would heavies. So the next one we're going to talk about is Fawn. Fawn was, I'd say, probably a decent state on the previous patch. The dot damage wasn't that great, which obviously was the problem in year 1. The range is still pretty good, and handling was pretty good as well, which it still is, but there's been a 25% damage reduction, which really, really just makes the gun an absolute pile of shit. I used it twice in competitive, and I used it once in the 2-3 hours I was playing private matches with my friends here. It's obviously one match out the many that we did do. It just didn't perform at all. I was bottom of the table, I was getting a lot of assists, because obviously you just do half damage and then someone else would get the kill. Just that type of stuff. Fawn is in a really bad state now since they've done that. Before, I think it was probably just been fine, it wasn't overpowered. I think they should just left it how it was. And obviously with the dot damage artifacts coming out into the game, that probably wouldn't have affected it being too much. But even though the dot damage is pretty bad anyways, since the previous patch. The next weapons we're going to talk about is the same archetype pulse rifles, which is obviously stuff like Red Death and No-Wins. I was using No-Wins the first day of the patch and absolutely melting people. The Hawksaw and them type of pulse rifles is still the best, but I'd say it's probably just a few percentage behind is now No-Wins. Depending on the role that you've got in your No-Wins, obviously that does help. Outlaw, that type of stuff. And Red Death is still pretty good as well. I should have some gameplay of that against my friends for Red Death. I was absolutely melting face. So Red Death is quite a viable option now. There's a video that Sir Demetrius done the other day where he got like stupid amount of kills, like 42 kills in a control match. So it's still pretty good. Obviously he's the top player. What else have we got that got changed? Snipers obviously have been changed as well. To be honest, I think that's actually a good nerf. Like the flinch, I don't agree with so much. That does really make it hard, especially when you've got people shooting you with Mida Multi-Tool and stuff like that. But the aim assist, I can completely agree with, because obviously weapons like longbow and the previous ones like LDR and stuff like that, which were year 1 but brought me to year 2. They didn't need that aim assist in year 2 anyways. Stuff like 1000 Yard Stare, I used to do really well with it back in the day. Same with Her Deliverance, which did have a high aim assist, I must admit. I've always been used to the archetype, the high impact ones, minus obviously stuff like Back Spindle, etc. So if you're used to that aim assist, having obviously an easier aim assist, which would be longbow, which adds an extra 20 aim assist to it, then obviously you should be good at the game anyways. Like, if you're used to first thing I said beforehand, longbow should be the same now anyways. Like, you just have to get better with shots. You're going to miss more shots. Unfortunately, the aim assist is not there, but that's a bit of a cheeky, you know, people who were abusing it before it was there, so obviously you're going to use that sniper and abuse it. So that was a nerf which was needed. Obviously you don't want to get domed when people are obviously shooting you and stuff like that with flinch, but I think they need to tone it down a little bit. It's probably a bit too much now, I think, with flinch. Also, another weapon which is really good. This has always been a sleeper, personally, for me. I used to wreck with Lean Gemini, the scout rifle. And now it's got high caliber rounds in it. It's fucking beastly. And obviously, mentioning the whole stagger system, which we've got before, that is probably the best thing to use against snipers. So if you're coming up against a lot of snipers in trials, use that scout rifle because it will make them flinch for shit. Obviously, Mida will do the same thing, but they obviously took Mida's high caliber rounds, or whatever it's called, the one that makes people armor piercing rounds, so out of it before. So obviously this one has got it, Boolean Gemini, so that is definitely a good option. It wrecks face as well. Obviously there's some better scout rifles out there. Mida's slightly a bit better, but pretty solid, I'd say. I think overall that is the ones that I've tested out in private matches. But good segue, we can obviously talk about private matches. The event on Tuesday was the MLG event. Fucking amazing. Luminosity has like literally the best movement in the game. Sidestepping everywhere. Nkooch, unfortunately, couldn't use his sniper as much in the first few matches, and he moved his shotgun and he absolutely wrecked, even though he's typically a sniper player. Tash was really good with obviously the whole commentating side of things as well. Really good, cool guy. He's obviously a really good Destiny player as well. Does great videos. And he's obviously amazing at shoutcasting. You've got True Vanguard, Sir Demetrius, all the top players, KJ Hovey, Real Crafty, like they all represented. Even the players I didn't know too much, Sawala, and who else? Bodies, Vile, and I forget who the other guy is. Sonic, Frostbolt, which is obviously Nkooch's friend. They're fucking really good. Like, they're super aggressive shotgunners. Obviously using stuff like Mador 64 and God knows what else. All the cheap ones, but really good event. And obviously at the end of it, they dropped private matches. So since Tuesday, I've been able to get some gameplay, but I'm opening up my friends list to people who obviously watch the channel. So my gamer tag for PS4 is Ksam187. So Ksam187. If you want to add me, I will not be able to play all the time, but if I'm able to do a video, or I want to do some testing of weapons that I want to talk about, for instance like in this video, or I want to do a weapon review, then obviously if I have enough people online, I can obviously add you into a private match, and obviously we could just muck around, just do normal loadouts that you normally would in normal Crucible, but obviously I can test out the weapons in a more of a controlled environment and get some footage of it, so you guys will be in the video as well, and obviously you could be part of that process. So I thought that'd be a really cool option, and obviously we can just muck around and play some games after we've done like the whole boring recording side of it, and just do it like that. So it'd be a pretty cool idea. If you want to do that, then obviously leave a comment down below, or just add me like I said before, and we can talk online on the PS4. So the games that we was doing in private matches, we was playing No Hard, Snipers Only, Mayhem, Rumble on Skyshock, which is obviously a very long range map, and it's funny as hell. Obviously with no HUD you can't see where the special ammo boxes are, so you need to know where they are beforehand. And then we tried it with no HUD. It works a little bit better, but obviously you've got the radar and all that type of jazz. So we was trying to do it where you can obviously like really perch up somewhere, hide, and then obviously no one can see with the HUD and stuff. And then we done that on Rusted Lands with no HUD as well, and that's really, because obviously it's a smaller map, it's really funny when you get to in close engagements, because obviously where you can only use sniper, or you run out of bullets, you're obviously just running away from the person, trying to not get shot at. It's really fun, really cool idea. And then we went to, obviously like in this gameplay, primaries only, and I was testing out loads of different weapons for that, and then stuff, you know, usual stuff, you can do sword hilts, all that type of jazz. Mr. Fruit done one that today, which is Infection, where obviously where you can switch teams, you get hit by the sword hilt, and then you turn into the zombie, and obviously each team member who obviously turns into the zombie goes to the the other side, and then obviously there'll be one person left and you play that. There's also the Iron Dragon one, which we needed to do, but I haven't done yet. Everyone else puts on gear of 230 light, I think we come to the conclusion. And obviously one person has like the highest, like 3 for 35, and obviously we need to try and kill that person with like certain weapons or just with all weapons. We'd have to test that one out to see if it works or not and what type of points, what type of stuff. But overall, very, very good week for Destiny, and we've obviously got a lot more content coming up next week with Rise of Iron, so stay tuned. I won't upload the missions for the story campaigns, I don't see the point in that, but obviously anything like guides to get some weapons, obviously there's going to be exotics for Galahorn, Thorn, that type of stuff, I'll obviously do some videos on. Any other stuff which pops up, random events, how to do certain things like the Archon Forge, weapon reviews, will all be on the channel as soon as I can get to doing them. If obviously you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this content and obviously you're looking forward to next week, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like and tell me down below your gamer tag and I'll try and add you. Bye bye.